Hello and welcome. Before the story opens, the narrator invites a few quiet breaths. In through the nose, as if smelling cool night air, and out through the mouth, a soft hush. Breathe in, slow and steady, and breathe out, letting the shoulders melt. One more, a gentle breath in, and a long, unhurried breath out. There you are, cozy, settled, and safe. Under a mild silver moon, a narrow road drifts like ribbon through meadows of feather-soft grass. The grass leans this way and that way, shh, as if it too is sleepy. On this road rides a knight named Rowan, whose armor is not the clattering kind, but the well-worn, well-oiled kind that whispers when he moves, leather creaking like an old book opening. On his back a travel cloak rests heavy and warm. At his hip a sword sleeps in its sheath, not eager, not angry, simply present, like a forgotten promise. Rowan is not a loud man. He listens more than he speaks. Tonight he listens to the hush of a stream to his left, and to the drowsy chirp of crickets to his right. He listens to his horse, Bramble, who blows a soft through his nostrils whenever a moth drifts by. They are bound for the ridge people call Worm's Brow, where a dragon is said to nest, and where a village would like its fear to end. He has been told the dragon burns orchards and frightens shepherds. It has been said that courage means raising a blade. Yet as Rowan rides, the night carries no scent of smoke, only moss and apples and clean stone. The moon lays gentle squares of light across the road, like little quilts. The world does not feel threatened. It feels expectant, as if it has set a teacup on a saucer and is waiting for someone to lift it. Rowan's thoughts move slowly, like lanterns floating down a river. He remembers the baker's daughter, who pressed a sprig of lavender into his glove for courage. He remembers the steward, whose voice trembled when he uttered the word dragon. He remembers an old map, where, behind a sketch of ridges, a patch of ink was washed so pale it looked like a secret smudged by the rain. Perhaps the cartographer cried, or perhaps they only sighed. There, Rowan had thought, is a place that wants to be found. The road thins to a path, then to soft soil, then to a carpet of needles under pine. The trees rise like pillars of a choir, dark and tall. Their scent is a blend of resin and old sunlight. Every so often a pine cone falls with the mildest of thumps. No startle, only the night clearing its throat. Bramble's hooves, careful and considerate, press ovals into the earth and lift again. The saddle's buckles tut-tut kindly. When the path opens to a small clearing, Rowan stops to drink from a canteen. The water is cool and still. He tilts his head and hears something like humming. Not a warning, not a growl. A hum as one might hum while tending a garden or while folding soft linens. The sound is faint, its edges rounded with patience. It comes from beyond a veil of rock, where the hillside cradles a bow-shaped ravine. A breeze moves through, not sharp, but like fingers brushing through hair, slow and reassuring. Rowan wipes his mouth with the back of his glove and listens again. The humming pauses, continues. The moon slides a little higher, then pauses too, as if listening with him. Courage, Rowan decides, is not always the raising of a blade. Sometimes it is the lowering of the shoulders, the softening of the breath, the willingness to see what is truly there. He pats Bramble's neck. "Easy," he whispers, though his voice is scarcely louder than a leaf's sigh. They step toward the ravine. A silvered mist gathers near the rocks, not cold, not warm, simply present, like the sword, like the moon, like the quiet expectation of the night. The humming grows clearer, layered with the delicate trickle of hidden water, with the tender chime of pebbles adjusting themselves in the stream bed. The world leans in, gentle and curious. And so, with a heart that listens and hands that rest, Sir Rowan approaches the place where a dragon is said to sleep, and where something else, something kinder, begins to wake. Before the next turn of the path, if you like, take one more soft breath with the night itself. In and out, letting the jaw unclench, letting the shoulders float down, letting your thoughts rest in a calm pool. The story will go on at the pace of a quiet river, and you can drift with it, unhurried, safe, and warm. The humming guides Rowan to a crescent of stone where the hillside opens like a gentle yawn. No iron tang of danger waits there, only moonlit mist and the clean smell of moss. He slides from Bramble's saddle, the stirrup giving a polite jingle, and rests a palm on the horse's warm neck. "Stay," he breathes, and Bramble answers with a contented ears turning toward the sound. Beyond the rock lip, a hollow descends in soft steps. The air feels kind, as if the night itself has placed a shawl across Rowan's shoulders. He moves slowly,
not from fear, but from care, as one does in a room where someone is sleeping. The humming pauses, then resumes, closer now, layered with the hush of water and the little sighs stones make when they settle. At the hollow's heart, Rowan finds a pool no larger than a cottage rug, glass still, its rim ringed with fern. Curled beside it is the dragon, not a mountain of iron scales and sparks, but a long willow-limbed creature, whose hide glows like moss lit by moonlight. The dragon's breath comes warm and even, a soft whoo in, and a gentle whoo out, stirring the fern fronds. Its eyes are deep lake brown, with a ring of gold, like sunrise held under water. When those eyes open, they regard Rowan not with challenge, but with a steady, curious calm. Rowan does a quiet thing first. He unbuckles one glove, then the other, and tucks them at his belt. He slides the sword's baldric from his shoulder, and rests the sheathed blade on the ground, palms up and empty, as if offering the knight his trust. The dragon tilts its head, and a small plume of warm breath drifts across the moss, with a scent like baked apples and rain-wet stone. "Hello," Rowan says, voice low, as if speaking to a friend in a library. The dragon's throat thrums, a note like a well-tuned cello that never quite rises, never startles. A word forms there, not so much heard as felt. Welcome. The sound sits in Rowan's chest like a hand over a hand. Bramble, patient at the mouth of the hollow, takes a step forward and snorts softly. The dragon turns, eyes brightening, and lowers its head. Horse and dragon share breath for a moment. The old way creatures greet without words, nostrils flaring, the air easy and sweet. "I was told you were a danger," Rowan admits, fingers brushing the lavender sprig inside his glove. "But I listened, and the night said otherwise." The dragon's eyelids soften. Another shape of sound. Stay. See. A narrow arch opens beyond the pool, root-laced and low, as if a great tree once knelt here and left its outline behind. The dragon rises with a practiced grace that barely rustles the fern. Its wings unfurl and refold the way sheets fold, slow, precise, tender, casting no gust, making only a hush. It pads toward the arch and glances back. Rowan follows, ducking beneath, palm gliding over the cool, damp root, the way one thanks a doorway.
On the other side, the world is softer. A secret garden breathes under the hill, lit not by torches, but by the kind of light a child imagines in a seashell. Flowers open their moon faces along winding paths, pale bells, starry cups, low cushions of petals that look like small clouds resting on the earth. Each bloom holds a tiny glow, and in each glow a picture turning, barely there, like the echo of a dream just before waking. A fisherman laughs as his boat skims the glassy water. A baker dusting flour like morning snow. A mother repairing a sleeve by lamplight, needle bright, face peaceful. This, Rowan whispers, awe leaning his voice. You guard this. The dragon's head dips. Guard, yes, the hum implies. And tend. A foreclaw, slender and careful, touches the soil near a cluster of starry cups. Dew gathers into a bead, then another. The beads rise and hover like tiny lantern seeds. The dragon exhales, not fire, but warmth, and the seeds drift down a tunnel of air toward the world above, born like thistledown. For orchards, Rowan murmurs, understanding arriving like a lantern being lit. For frost, for sleep, you send warmth. The tales of burned orchards were only the glow seen through mist, the dragon's gentle night work misunderstood. The dragon's eyes glow a fraction brighter. The hum shapes another word, soft as the stroke of a thumb across a worry line. Courage. Rowan listens. Courage is not the iron of a blade, the garden seems to say. Courage is the patience to keep watch when others sleep, the steadiness to warm what is fragile without asking for thanks, the humility to be seen as fearsome and still choose kindness. Rowan's hand rests over his heart. He feels his breath finding the dragon's rhythm, easy and steady. Shall I help? He asks, quietly certain he can. Hushwing, though the name is not spoken, it fits, like the right cup in the right saucer, lifts its head toward a path lined with low, cushiony blooms. Rowan kneels and cups a flower that looks like a cloud. It trembles and releases a thread of light that drapes over his fingers like a silk ribbon. He lifts it and feels a memory he does not own. A shepherd boy, grown now, setting down a heavy worry and laughing in his sleep. The thread rises and follows the others, upward, outward, homeward. He works in quiet tandem with the dragon, seed by seed, thread by thread. The air fills with the soft tink of dew becoming light, with the murmur of the pool, with Hushwing's low, guiding hum. The night does not hurry them. If you wish, let your breath join theirs for a moment. In, slow and kind, and out, loose and long. Find the hush and rest there. The garden approves. It seems to glow a little warmer when a breath is gentle. After a while, the path curls to a small bench of root and stone. Hushwing lowers its long body beside it, curling its tail to its chin, eyes at ease. Rowan sits, feeling the bench give a little, as if shaped by many good rests. Overhead, a vein of quartz listens to the moon. Around them, tiny lights drift like friendly fireflies, but quieter, always quieter. The village asked me to end their fear, Rowan says softly, and I think perhaps we can end it without ending anything at all. The dragon hums a note, agreement, like a nod. And so the night settles deeper. The garden breathes, and the truth of courage and kindness, once a rumor in the air, becomes a calm, shared task under a hill where dreams are grown. If you're comfortable, let the breath soften again. In, slow and light, and out, longer than the in-breath, like a small tide returning to sea. The story grows quieter now, like a lantern with a warm, steady glow. When the work in the garden is done for the night, Hushwing leads Rowan back toward the root-arched doorway. The air tastes gently of apple peel and clean stone. At the pool, fern tips rest their tiny heads. The water holds the moon like a coin in a calm palm. Bramble waits, relaxed, one hoof tucked. Rowan smooths the horse's mane, and the leather of the saddle answers with a drowsy creak, friendly and familiar. They do not speak, not with words. The dragon's hum carries a meaning that feels like a blessing placed in Rowan's hands. Share gently. Rowan nods. In the hush between heartbeats, he understands what kindness looks like out in the open air. At first light, he rides the meadows home. No clatter, no hurry. Dew nods on the grasses. Swallows stitch the pale sky. When Rowan reaches the village, he does not lift the sword from its sheath. He lifts his voice the way one lifts a teacup, carefully, with care for the hands that hold it. He tells the baker, the herdsman, the steward, and the child who carries bread. The dragon is not a blaze, but a hearth. It warms the fragile places while you sleep. Faces soften as if winter has let go. The steward's shoulders sink from his ears. The baker's daughter presses another sprig of lavender into Rowan's glove, this time for gratitude. Days fold themselves neatly. Nights drift like boats on a glassy lake. When cold wants the orchards, it meets a breath that says, "Easy now, easy," and blossoms keep their small stars. When worries curl on their pillows, threads of light find them, quiet thoughts that smooth sharp edges, patience laid like a quilt. And sometimes, if one walks at the edge of the old pine wood at moonrise, a low, kind hum rolls through the needles, and the heart answers, without fear. Rowan visits the garden when needed, never too long, never with noise. He and Hushwing have the easy friendship of artisans who work at the same bench, hands steady, voices low. Courage, he learns, is not a grand shout. It is the quiet choice repeated, to keep watch without being seen, to lend warmth without asking for names, to choose gentleness whenever gentleness is possible. Now the path of the tale grows soft underfoot. It is time to land at night. If you like, let the breath guide the body toward sleep. The narrator will count a few slow rounds. In on a gentle 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And out on an easy 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Again, in, cool as moonlight. 1, 2, 3, 4. And out, long as a meadow. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Imagine the secret garden under the hill. Picture a bench shaped by many good rests. Let your head be the fern, your pillow the soft moss. Feel a quiet weight, safe and pleasant, settling through shoulders, arms, hands, fingertips. Feel warmth in the chest, as if a small lantern were placed there. Hips heavy, legs unknotted, feet loose. Jaw unhinges just a little, tongue resting like a small boat on still water. Thoughts pass like moths, soft wings,
No urgency, nothing to chase. Shh. Rowan sits with Hushwing at the pool. The moon makes a silver road across the water. The garden breathes. The village sleeps. The sword sleeps too. Everything that needs doing is done for now, and what remains will wait kindly for the morning. The dragon hums a low lullaby beneath the world, and the lullaby becomes the hush of your own breathing, steady and sure. If a final image helps, let it be this: threads of light drifting upward, carrying small mercies to where they are needed most, including to you. No effort required, only rest, only warmth, only the simple, brave kindness of sleep arriving, like a door opening in a quiet house, like a quilt tucked to the chin. The lantern dims to a comfort glow. The garden keeps watch, and you, gentle listener, may drift and drift and drift.